But yeah, so I came up with the idea for deal alerts in 2014. So it took me 3 years to think of it, but there you go. And the idea here is to to highlight a really special deal that people are going to not be able to resist. And one of the interesting things about this is people often ask me, well, how do you find these deals? How do you know about them? And the associate program can actually help you with that, because it can feed back. Because every day you get a report which tells you what people are buying. So that was March 2014, and then after that, about a year later, what kind of raised that to the next level. So what I did with that was I asked people to sign up to get the deal alerts via emails, you see. And I've built that 1,000 up to 4,500 now. It has an open rate of 65%, so 65% of people open those emails. Another monetization, more recent monetization enhancement on the website has been a price comparison widget. People were complaining that HMB wasn't up there, so I put HMB up there, and no one uses it. And I think finally, just you have to work hard. I mean, really hard. I mean, suddenly you've got a kind of 24/7, 365 job. It's never ending. I know. I'll do a Saturday kitchen for my blog. I've got this post every Saturday morning called Saturday Deluxe. Thought it was a great idea. Until every Saturday morning I have to spend 2 hours writing this post.
We don't do any marketing. We don't, buy advertising. We've not done anything of that sort ever. We've been lucky that sort of just grown organically, primarily through search engine traffic. I believe that the way to do this is you need to first, obviously, like I was saying, find out where the traffic's coming from first. So where they're coming from, what are they looking for, and then from there, what pages on the site are they going to? Once you figure that stuff out, you will be able to target those particular areas of the site and concentrate your efforts on those parts of the site. And also you get to learn sort of more what people are looking for. So we looked at Amazon. And here's a few ways that we found to monetize Amazon on ePhotozine. First and probably the easiest way is display ads. Those are all right in places where we didn't want to intrude too much on the users. Secondly, we integrated the product advertising API. We did initially use widgets. There was the easy cut and paste sort of widgets that you can get in the associate's dashboard. But we found this was more suitable to us because we like sort of that custom touch, the more integrated touch. It does really well if you do that. This is more sort of organic integration, and it takes a little bit more time to do that, but it's well worth it. And we promote that on social media. We promote it in a newsletter as well, a sort of purpose-built newsletter for the Black Friday or Amazon deals. It works really, really well, surprisingly well. I kind of thought this is not going to do a lot, so we're just going to see past it as a huge Amazon advert. I was shocked how well this did. We've got a whole lot of ways that we monetize the site outside of Amazon. Probably the one that all you guys are aware of is Google AdSense. Easiest way to make money. Right, the mistakes that we've learned from. I've been at ePhotozine for about 10 years, and we've been established since 2001, so we've learned a lot along the way.
There are many myths out there, because sometimes it's very easy, but in many cases it's very complex. So today we are going to talk about myth and legends concerning SEO, and we'll tell you something about do's, things you should do, and don'ts, obviously stuff you shouldn't do. So there's this myth out there that states that there's a certain number of words you should use in your text. Like 300, for example, let's say 400, let's say 155. All of that is a myth. It's about quality, and it's about meeting the interest of the one that is accessing your page. That is the result, that is the top result for the keyword Europe. No text, or almost no text, but valuable content.
Google has what they call the Webmaster Guidelines, and they didn't put them up for fun, they put them up because they actually want you to play by them. They actually have quite a lot of employees who work endlessly, tirelessly, looking at domains and figuring out, are these domains doing anything against our guidelines? And if they do, they will take what they call a manual action. 4.3 million actions, that's just the ones that they took. It's not all the ones that they looked at. Especially with affiliates or affiliate links, Google says anything, anytime a link could be advertisement. And sorry, affiliate links are advertisement. They shouldn't pass any trust of the site. So know your link guidelines, because if you don't know your link guidelines, something like that might happen. It took them a year and a half of cleanup to pretty much get out of this filter. So if you get hit, not all is lost. You can still get out of it, but it's really hard and it may really take a long time. Google uses the anchor text to try to figure out what the page that's linked to is all about. Just for this one domain, for the top 10 anchor texts, half of them are what Google would call unnatural. Unnatural anchor text, because quite honestly, how many of you would actually link to a different site like that? No one? Ah, okay, you. Fine. That's great. But don't do it too often, you might actually harm someone.
So what we're going to do today is conversion rate optimization. What is it? What does it mean? What is a conversion to me? How to figure out to improve conversion rate of the conversion rate of my page? What can I do about it? And some case studies and best practices. You need a brain first. Having a brain makes things easier. You need a tool that keeps track of all the user engagement of your page. You want to know how many visitors do I have? How many of them are new to my page? How many are returning? How long do they stick with my page? Do they engage with my page? Do they click things? Do they move on? Do they buy? You will need a tool for that. And the next thing you do is something that helps you carry out A/B testing. But basically, you have two versions of a page or of a template, for example, and you just want to figure out which one performs better. At first, you will need to know what is the ultimate goal on a web page. As I said, is it orders or is it subscribers? And then you will need to look into your web tracking tool and to find some bottlenecks. Are there pages within my website that prevent people from converting? And then you will just think about why. Why do they not convert? What is the reason and what can I do about it to change that? And then you will run a test just to prove your assumptions, wrong or false, and then repeat and repeat and repeat until you die. Repeat. Conversion rate optimization is a process that never ends. No page in the world will ever be perfect. There's everything you can test, and there's a lot of things you can improve. Quite a lot of testing ends with results that you would have not expected to end that way. Like, one example I know from real life is we had a widget which had a green background, and there was a red, really annoying button in it, which is not really relaxing for the eye, and always red implies something like, I didn't make a mistake, is there something like an error message or something? So that was my gut feeling. I said, okay, I don't think this will work. But data proved me wrong. There's really a certain uplift that I could never think of before, so really rely on the data. Do not listen to people. Do not listen to yourself. Let the data do the proving for you. Of course, you can just take one page and compare it to another page, but you also can test templates. Templates are shared across many pages. And let's say you're not following this approach, you land on one page and click on another page which has the same template, but all the widgets look different. That might be distracting as well. So it's also possible, instead of just testing certain concrete addresses or URLs, to test template elements that should be shared across the whole page, so this test remains consistent. So another thing, very popular in conversion optimization, is the 7 level model. You can understand that as kind of a checklist that applies to every web page, because all of these components are like psychological elements that you go through when you visit a page and make a final conclusion or a final evaluation of the page, if you like it or not.
So this is about Amazon Product Advertising API. So that's our flagship product, which allows you to basically have programmatic access to our catalog. So as you can read there, so it's dynamic, it's robust, it's flexible. We have tried our best to keep the sandbox as something which can be used by both technical and business folks, so that you can see that how the API works and you can play around with it. From the functionality point of view, so the API allows you to search for products on Amazon. pretty much the way you go to Amazon and search products on Amazon, like using a brand filter, using a category, or using a keyword, you can do the same thing using the API too. So this is your starting point to figure out the API and get started. The moment you click on the tab, you are basically taken to a page which provides you high-level information on how exactly the API works. So these are the different endpoints which are supported. These are the different locales which the API gives you access to all these marketplaces of Amazon. So as you can see, the interface is really oriented towards non-technical people, that with just few selections and few clicks, you should be able to replicate the API behavior. That's the key idea here. We wanted to give you this option that you can use this API. This is really flexible, dynamic, and everything is real time. So the price which is returned here is actually what is the current price on Amazon. So it's again a tool in your kitty, like whatever you like. This is also another option which you can use to integrate with Amazon and do a lot of creative stuff, because you're getting everything in raw format.
The most important thing for you to know is, and most people don't know that you just cut and paste that code basically to your page. And then you have a very good conversion optimized, well-known widget on your page that automatically always pulls, when the people see the page, the right content. So like the current search results for Harry Potter, or the best price for the item, is it available, is it shippable, is it Prime, is it, all this stuff. And that really raises the conversion.
It's always about content. So everybody talks about what is content. I'm going to talk about a little bit more in detail what is good content, what is bad content. But basically, we need to talk about high quality content. That brings you more traffic, that brings you more business if you conversion optimize it, and you reinvest parts of it into your life and most parts of it into more traffic. So this is how you grow a business. There's two ways basically. Either you choose a topic which you really love, and you write about it, and you think then about how can I monetize it. And the other way is you do it purely number driven. You say, this is the topic that earns money, and you make it only a business. You can't really earn much money with it if you don't dedicate a lot of time to it. And that's so important that you keep just going. You know, like if you fail, you take the learning, you make the next thing, and keep going. And there's one rule which I want to give you and highlight on this slide. It's this 15%. So what I'm doing is like, I'm trying to find searches that the keyword planner tells me that have 15% of my current monthly traffic. You want to be organic traffic, so use it for your organic keyword planning. So that's one tool where you can figure out around your topic what are the cool other things. But maybe you also know Google Trends. So who uses Google Trends? So anybody heard about Answer the Public as a tool? Okay, here we go. That's very, very rarely. I always tell people look to the left, because that tells you what your audience is really shopping. It's very hard. It's a fact, you know, like those are the things what people are buying. This is a very good example, because you need to be unique. Your site doesn't have to look awesome. Your site needs to have unique content. If you have content that basically doesn't have much other sites talking about it, you automatically get the traffic. But you have to also be relevant. Like you know, it's only when you're relevant you do get in the search results. It's better to think an hour about writing what shall I write about than just writing about something that nobody interests, because then Google sees that very quickly that people just read the article and hop away. So anyway, it's really really important to do good and bad stuff. You know, like having a simple box there saying plus and minus, and for a lot of products the minus should be much bigger than the plus. That's totally fine, because that will lead people to the conclusion, hey, we can trust this person. Like, it's so important that you use pictures. I usually have 10% of the traffic coming from picture search. This is the best ribeye steak I've ever seen. They share the picture, they don't share the article, but you get the traffic. And the usual conversion for this is between 3 and 15%. It's a big, big gap, so you have to make that right. And if you don't test on this wording, you're doing something fatally wrong.
You see, this is like an integration where I'm saying, go to Amazon, buy it at that price. That doesn't perform. You know why? It's not really an Amazon design. And then when I added that one, it raised my conversion 4.5 times. So this is actually the best conversion which I've seen on my sites. Like I have a unique photo, I have a unique headline, I have a plus minus, what is good, what is bad. I offer different shops, this is Amazon, this is another shop, with their current pricing, both API integrations, a cut price, and shop. Like everybody's now talking about relevant content, great content, and everybody forgets that, you know, like the second important thing for Google is still the backlinks. So spend some time on backlinks and not only content. That's the message here. Looks good. So who wants to go first? Maybe this is okay. So what's the URL? Okay, so it means you go to the site and then comes the sign up box after some seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Never do that, guys. This is one of the worst things you can do. It's basically kills your Google growth. Google hates that. It kills the trust into the users. And it's not really good to do. I would estimate you could, on a long term, which is 12 months, get 60% more out of the traffic that you do have when you remove that. So this is the magic of Site Clinic. And hopefully for everybody in learning, like, you know, you don't need to test those things. So if you have, like if you look at this site, it really, like this is quite big, and you have the breaking news thing, which could be much smaller, so you're giving away a lot of space. You have the sign up, which you duplicate basically in your pop-up. So why twice? It doesn't make much sense. And then you do have apps here, which is not unique content because it's on other pages as well. Like it's linking to other pages. And so this is actually the remaining, not even unique content here on the page.
What I'm learning is that you currently do rank for about 4,300 keywords within the United Kingdom, which is quite impressive. The problem is, in the end, it's only about 146 keywords where you actually do appear on the first result page. So there's like a huge potential you do have as far as rankings. I mean, it's obvious that not all of those keywords are necessarily relevant for you, but dealing with someone in your situation, normally I'd recommend to have a look at your most visible competitors to find relevant keywords. But in your case, you do have such a huge potential, you should definitely make use of it. So that would be my recommendation.
So there's tools like Systrix where you basically go and you just see your the keywords that you use, and then what you would do is like looking what are the keywords where I'm in position 11 to 20, which have a high traffic, and just filter that. And basically you concentrate yourself on optimizing the articles that you already have for those keywords, or getting backlinks for them, or do more internal linking to bring those from the second search result page to the first search result page.
So headlines are kind of in a hierarchical structure. The first headline, meaning the H1 tag, is like the emphasis for I am about something. And this something between the H1 tags is like a clear statement, this is the thing I want to be ranked for. Usually it is quite similar to the title tag. And usually the H1 is the first headline a user is going to see. So it's providing proof that he's right on your page. And this is something search engines do also put into consideration while evaluating what's the topic of your page. In this case, just for the sake of argument, you could tell there is no topic. Of course there is. Of course you use other headlines, but just to stand that out, the H1 is an important on-page factor for keyword targeting.